it's the holidays and near the end, I wanted everyone to kind of recap over the year what you thought of on certain subjects, your favorite couple of movies, maybe TV, streaming, and sports games and stuff like that. Now, Bob, what you do and don't know, you could say blockers for movies. It's fine.
We have been watching the holiday food channel, the Gingerbread House.
Yes, my daughter and wife watches all that. Yeah. So those are weird. Like Jesse Palmer hosts them and stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, Jesse Palmer. So for the movies, starting in 2018, movies you've seen and you think are probably your top two. Charles, what is your idea?
The easiest top movie for me is A Star Is Born. And that sounds really lame and everything like that, but that movie was great. I still stand by that. I thought that was a great movie. Totally well, I guess people were kind of talking up for all this stuff, but it was a surprise to me. Bradley Cooper being some musician guy, Lady Gaga being smoking hot to me. You know what I mean? Like, I was a huge fan of that movie. So that's...
My wife liked that movie a lot. She goes all the time. I don't go.
Yeah,
who does she go with? Her
Anna,
boyfriend?
She goes with my daughter. No. Either way, I don't have to go. I don't care.
Yeah, so if I'm honest, that's probably my favorite movie.
Any other
of the
one you want to
past
suggest?
year. I'm sure there's been a few others, but the one of the things that, and I just talked about it recently, one of the biggest disappointments was that Happy Time Murders one.
Oh yeah.
I want to love Melissa McCarthy movies, man, but this is just
not when she's the main character. The movie sucked.
God, it was so bad, and that's that's the gamut for me. I guess I'd say I'd recommend to anyone now.
Star Is Born.
Yeah, Star Is Born, and then stay away from Happy Time Murders, man. It's just a bummer.
All right, what about you, Bob? You want to say blockers now, or you want to wait?
Blockers.
What did you like about blockers, Bob? John Cena butt chugging.
John Cena's daughter, I thought was great. One of the best characters in a movie I saw in a long time. I thought her lines were fantastic.
That movie, everything was funny was in the trailer. It was exactly.
No, it was not. No.
I thought the guy that wasn't John Cena was okay. He's usually pretty funny in a lot of stuff with the weird teeth all the time and the bowl cut.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
that
about.
guy's
Yeah.
pretty funny. I
usually plays like the funny second.
Leslie Mann's great in any movie. It seems like she's in. She's funny.
She's always in Judd Apatow movies because she's banging.
His movies are great.
I guess.
So
I would say she's not making those movies. Judd Apatow.
Did you see any movies in the theater you didn't like, Bob?
No, it was Blockers.
Okay, so,
I'm one for
so
one.
Bob's favorite movie and his worst movie is Blockers.
It's a pretty strict category.
So for Wiggs, I want you to go before me because I don't want to steal any of your thunder because I've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah, I know, because I'm a bad person to ask because I don't see a ton of movies in the theater anymore like I used to. But Avengers: Infinity War, I thought was really good.
I was going to pick that.
That was, and then most recent one, Creed 2, I thought was really good.
Yeah,
I still haven't seen that.
When did Superman vs. Batman come out?
From 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was like 2015.
Oh,
wow.
Right.
It's on like FX at this point.
I remember going to that one. I saw that one.
Bob's like, on USA the other day, I saw Return of the Jedi.
And to the point, like I guess my list of shame is Creed 2 is one of them, and Bohemian Rhapsody I never went and saw, and I need to see both of
that was
those.
going to be my movie of the year.
Oh, wow,
Bohemian
okay.
I know a lot of critics crapped on it. It was a lot of fun. I love the music. I thought it was great. I liked the movie. I know it didn't go deeply into his drugs and sex, and I'm okay with
that's
that.
good.
Yeah, I don't really need to see all that.
It
I also
looked great. Rami Malek, who played Freddie Mercury and everything, and we talked about it on one of the podcasts. It's great.
I also agree with Wiggs with the Avengers: Infinity War.
Now did that feel just like it was setting up further movies? I'm not a comic
but it was
book-
really good.
Yeah, it was
setting up for
and it
It's
felt
a
like a
worthy
movie.
beginning
It
of
really
it.
felt like a movie about Thanos more than the heroes.
Okay.
And that's what I thought was cool about it. And honorable mention, I like Deadpool 2, but I'm a slappy for Deadpool. So I'm gonna, Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. That's
Speaking of that, as we had Wiggs brought in some pretty tasty moonshine today, we have to have another taste test.
I'm very hot, by the way. I'm very hot still.
Bob's
having a stroke.
He's gonna blame the booze for
It
his
wasn't
Hitler
a shooter
crack.
like at the club, dude. You could have sipped it.
So Ryan Reynolds owns a gin company named Aviation Gin. So we got to try that.
Well, I'll buy it online. We'll bring it next time.
You don't have to. I believe it's available locally.
Oh, okay.
So
Like some
we'll
gin
check
and
it out.
tonics.
Yeah,
As
so-
long as you're not sponsored by McConaughey McGregor.
You feel the moonshine too?
Yeah, I said that's all
Conor
right.
McGregor is the word Steve's looking for. Yeah.
So now our next category, and this is where Charles should shine because he probably watches more than anybody. What's your favorite TV shows of the past year? Charles, go ahead.
So, and easily my biggest dark horse show that you turned me on to is F is for Family. I think it's
yes.
one of those shows that
Frank is great.
That was
you,
I'll
know,
put you
you
that fucking
randomly
wall.
text me and just sent me that, and I was like, let me check this out. I got sucked in immediately.
Bob, have you seen F is for
I have
Family?
not.
Why did I was shocked?
It is
Watch
good.
that one. You'll
It is
like
funny.
It's on Netflix.
And to play another devil's advocate, or like to play another show, and me and you argue about this all the time. Blackish is still great. You're wrong on that one. It's still one of the best shows on television. You're incorrect. The divorce stuff was amazing. I will stand by that till the end of the year.
Once they got past the divorce stuff, I like the Prince episode. I did see that.
It's so good. That show is so good, people. And it's actually kind of, for me, past the Goldbergs, which is kind of limping its way.
Goldbergs has fallen off big time.
Yeah, they're struggling to find their way about these kids are aging. What do we do? What do
Well,
we
once
do?
the youngest Adam got old,
Yeah.
it's fallen off big time.
Yeah, and then and I'm just thinking of like disappointments. You have to come back to me on that. Like, there's been a handful of shows where I'm trying to get some new science fiction stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that whole general category is a disappointment on television.
yeah. So I mean, I
Except for, like,
guess
Game of
to your
Thrones.
point would
they
be
weren't on
like
this
The
year.
Walking Dead's a huge disappointment.
Yeah, the Walking Turd.
Yeah, it's limping its way to the end. All the stars are abandoning ship. It's just, and I need some new science fiction. I'm hoping. I saw a preview for the show The Passage, which it looks like it could be okay on Fox, but I don't know. I don't have a science fiction show that I'm really into, and that's kind of a disappointment. But if I'm going to give you my disappointment, probably Walking Dead.
So what were your two shows? It was Blackish and...
Blackish, and then F is for Family
F
is
is
a
for
great
Family.
show, and I recommend it highly to a lot of people.
Okay, Bob, what do you watch on television you recommend this
He
year?
only
for
watches
kids?
3 shows.
Well, name them.
Shameless is one, and I think
I
that
do-
show is getting a little.
it's
Just,
got
just close
Goldbergitis.
it up and get.
I would argue that that's been long in the
Yeah,
tooth.
no,
for a
the
while.
last 2 years, and the nudity in that is the only reason why I usually watch it. And that has gone away, so that's been a bummer.
That's someone being honest right there, folks.
That show, the premise was great, probably up until 3 years ago. And then the show's kind of gotten
Yeah, when the
goofy.
characters keep doing the same mistakes over and
Yeah.
over and over again, it's
like
like no
Fiona,
one
come
learns from anything. That
Yeah.
kind of got a little old.
I don't know. We watched Total Divas, and and what's the weirdest feeling? I know, dude. It's something we have to watch together. So that's basically what it is. Our tastes are different, so that's the stuff we like together.
All right.
I just discreetly handed Wiggs the
guys
lava
drank quite a
gula
bit
in
of something you
16.
didn't like.
That's
Well,
BV, man.
That was Bill during most of it.
Loved it. Couldn't get enough of it.
So,
Bob,
is
feel
there-
free to pull out your glass and try a little. You don't got to do a bunch, but just get a whiff on that, man. It smells like a charcoal briquette.
Hold that for
It's the weirdest vibe. Now that, to the point, that's $100 bottle of distilled spirits right there.
Bob's like, I gotta drive home. What the hell?
Oh,
Shameless, and what was the other one? The
Total
Total
Divas.
Divas.
what's the other one too? That's the Bellas. That's
Oh my! Stop talking about that.
Dude,
He's
I'm
a
a one up
different
here in a second.
perspective.
All right, Wiggs. I don't want to steal your thunder again, so let us.
No,
hear.
you're not going to steal my thunder on this. I guarantee it. I don't watch a ton of TV, and you guys turned me on to a show from this podcast, Superstore, which
That
I
was
found
one of my picks.
I
Oh,
found
it's great.
absolutely hilarious.
great.
I
Yeah.
literally watch and binge like the 4 seasons in like a week and a
It's
half,
great.
2
What is
weeks.
it?
If
What's
you like,
Superstore.
if you like The
If you
Office,
like The Office,
if you like
Superstore.
Parks and Rec, it's all in that
Dina
same
and
realm.
Garrett are two of the funniest characters in the show.
Yeah.
That show's funny to me.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I got it's just mindless fun, stupidity.
What is that on?
It's on NBC.
Yeah, it's an NBC show. It's basically they takes place in a retail store.
I don't think I watch anything on network anymore.
I don't watch a
don't
ton.
That's
I
one of the
believe.
few.
How are you binging? You catch it on
I watched
Hulu?
it. No, I watched it on Comcast through their
Through like an
the
Xfinity
DVD
on
app.
demand
Yep.
thing. Wow.
And then I'm gonna bring out the female side of me. I'm sure everybody's done it where your wife has watched a show and you have been sucked in.
Okay.
90 Day Fiance on TLC. And I will tell you what.
in it, yeah.
No, I'm
I
telling
can
you right
smell
now.
that liquor,
If
by the
you
way.
sat and watched, all right, here's the deal. These people find chicks, dudes online, and then they bring them over for. They got 90 days to get married, so the person gets their green card. So you'll see these smoking hot chicks
I
come with
can
these.
smell his.
Get that whiff.
Yeah, get you it. You'll see these like gorgeous women with these troll guys.
And what are they doing for money? Is that what it
Well,
is?
because I think they want to get a green card.
So the premise is literally they're coming from Sweden and Finland.
They're coming
and all
from
this-
Russia. They're coming from like Colombia.
Wow.
I mean, like good-looking chicks.
It's a
It was-
TLC show, right?
Yeah, and it was always on in the background, and I would watch it, and I'd be like, man, look at this guy and this smoking hot Latino chick. So the deal is, like, once they get married, you're on the hook for them for 10 years.
Oh, so you-
Whether you get divorced or not. So if they have to go to the hospital, any type of, like, surgery, like Medicaid, you're on the hook for that financially for 10 years.
So you have to cover that chick for
So
10
you will
years.
see these people get married, and then as soon as they get married, dude splits, chick's gone.
Wow, I didn't think I knew that rule. That's
It's
pretty
awesome,
crazy.
man. It's funny to watch.
I know
like,
it's really
you know it's
popular.
coming.
Because there's like follow-up shows where they go
Yeah,
back.
there's
and find-
that
there's
one,
a-
and
it's-
Married at First Sight. I got sucked into that
My
too.
wife watches that one a lot.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah, I'm like,
But it was like,
and that seems rigged to me too. That show seemed, it might have been legit for the first probably 2 seasons or so, and now it just seems like
yeah, it's
nothing even really happened.
no. So those are the ones I got sucked into.
They're Dr.
Unbeknownst
Pepper.
to me.
Dr. Pepper is one of the
Oh, the popper chick.
Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
she's-
Pimple Popper?
Pimple Popper, yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's try this $100 scotch.
So with Wiggs Superstore, he actually stole my thunder. What the hell? Superstore.
Oh, that's one of your
that's
2018
one- And the
shows?
other one I watched.
But I'll argue that.
Oh my god,
Pops up.
terrible! They call him the Burt.
I told you it's
It's like a charcoal
It's definitely
briquette.
woodsy. I will say that.
It's crazy.
Like I ate my campfire. It's so bad.
And BV loves it.
Oh my god!
I would argue, though, that 2018 is not the epitome of Superstore.
Yeah, last year
No.
was better.
Yes. So my whole argument to
This
you
season's
would be
not very good to me.
make it to play devil's advocate for you. 2018 to make Superstore a show of the year is kind of rough.
I just
Yeah.
put that in there because that was a show that was introduced to me this year
Yeah,
by you guys.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
No, I get
the,
ya.
the fourth season is not. Not
I
as
think
good
it's because
as
they hook
previous.
Jonah and Amy up, and it gets a little
Yeah.
awkward.
And if it's for families, high but the one I watched every week with Michelle, and even though it was slow, was Better Call Saul. I'm still a huge fan.
You guys talk that up so much,
But
man.
it's
is
gotta
that
pick
your
it up.
Breaking Bad love that always comes out of that?
I don't know if it's Breaking Bad love or Bob Odenkirk.
You're waiting to
love,
see
'cause
what happens next.
I
think
really like
You
that
feel
guy.
owed an answer
because
basically.
you know what he is. So
Yeah.
if it was a show that you didn't know what he becomes, I think I'd have bailed a long time ago.
Yeah. And the Breaking Bad, but that's probably the show I'd say, just because I know it's the one I watched every week as soon as
Yeah.
it came on. And every other show, it's like DVR, catch it when and whatever. And the other one, honorable mention, Daredevil on Netflix. I really like that.
Not
one.
anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. So,
Yeah.
but then we also have the streaming category. That's why.
So
I
hold
went
on
for
though.
that
What
one.
would be one of your disappointments for the year? I know you've consumed
Well,
enough TV.
yeah, the one I did, like you've mentioned, is The Walking Turd. The Walking Dead just should be shot and put out the pasture. I don't know what's going on, and it's Fear of the Walking Dead. Both shows.
No, just the whole AMC troop should.
Yeah,
just
I watched
probably-
both of them, and they're both kind of.
Oh my god! You at this point you're just watching it out of spite. Like
Yeah.
what's
Oh,
going on?
actually, the worst show of the year that I watch out of spite every Monday is Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, that,
That's one where I,
I don't
go,
even
why?
watch wrestling. I get my wrestling updates from Divas.
I have another show that I don't think you guys have ever watched, and I've tried to get you to watch it. Have you ever watched Brock Meyer on IFC
I don't even know what that is.
with Hank Azaria?
No.
No, you told me about it. It's just a
Listen,
weird channel it's on. I can't find
the
it.
show is hilarious. It's
What's
Hank
the
Azaria.
premise?
He plays a
Hank
base-
Azaria is the main
Hank
voices
is-
of all
yes.
things
Hank
Simpsons.
Azaria plays a baseball announcer, play-by-play announcer, radio or TV, whatever it is, who has a complete meltdown on air because he finds his wife cheating on him before the game.
Okay.
And he wears like the checkered like Don Cherry blazers.
Okay.
He speaks like in the old school like vernacular of
Okay. Like he's
and
real
he-
boisterous and
dude,
crazy.
and then and he goes to like Asia, and then comes back like a couple years later.
After the meltdown?
After, yeah, and he's a viral sensation. He knows nothing about it. He's like a raging alcoholic, and becomes the PA announcer of like a minor league baseball team owned by Amanda Peet.
No, I
2
don't
seasons.
know.
Show's hilarious.
Really?
But it's hard to
Brock
find.
Meyer on
on IFC, the
IFC
Independent Film Channel.
I
don't
only
even know.
found out because he did an interview on Howard,
Okay.
and then this premise sounded funny. I ended up watching it, and the show's hilarious.
Wow.
I think it's entering its third
What's
season.
the name one more time?
Brock Meyer.
Brock Meyer. Never heard of it.
So
Sounds like a porn star.
I know that there's
You
a
would like it.
handful of
It's
shows
funny.
on IFC because like that Portlandia, I want to say.
I've
comes
never
in.
watched that one,
That's
but
an
yeah.
IFC show, isn't it? And people
Yeah,
love that.
And it's
too.
real dirty and vulgar, and it's just it's a
Okay.
funny show.
I gotta find it.
You got to. You'd like it.
So there's the TV. Now we'll go into Charles. This is your realm. Streaming. What was the best show of 2018 that you watched on streaming?
Well, and I talked about it just in the last segment. I kind of spoiled it, saying F is for Family that you turned me on to. And then I have to add in, Nailed It is a fantastic show. And I can't tell enough people. It's super
daughter loves
lighthearted. Huh?
My daughter loves that show.
It's great. It's one of the funniest shows. And then, my British Baking Championships that are always on there, too. So a lot
all
of that
97
stuff.
seasons of
Yeah, it's just, I'm sorry. Like, I'm a Netflix house. Those are really the three that we have to immediately check out. Now, the one thing that kind of bummed me out was they brought Chef's Table back this season, and it was a little weird. So, Chef's Table is a 4K show on Netflix. It's a Netflix original where they profile like top restaurants in the world. And this season, it was very foreign. It for some reason was a little weird to me this season that I didn't like. So usually I love that show, but so for me the biggest new show I guess for 2018 for me in a Netflix capacity is going to be Nailed It. I think that's a great show, and everyone should definitely check that out. Great show.
And Bob, what did you watch on Netflix or Amazon or Hulu that you enjoyed?
Zero. I told you.
Bob doesn't have
I
the
told you.
I think they put the reruns of Divas on Netflix. I could be wrong, so you can
Well,
watch
then,
that.
no. Everything is through Comcast. I don't have Netflix or. Dude, I'm telling you,
You don't subscribe to Netflix, like
No.
Real Talk? You
No,
don't?
no.
How the hell is
Charles
that
is
possible?
offended.
I am hardly
just-
ever home, dude. I swear to God, I am hardly home.
Well, because you're always dealing with your daughter and her bowling
Yeah,
capacity.
and my bowling too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Well, Wiggs, since you're allowed to be home and watch
Yeah,
Netflix,
I've watched a few.
what is your favorite?
I thoroughly enjoyed the Medal of Honor.
that was a good
you're a
one.
big
I-
proponent of that.
I like
yeah.
that one a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff some of these guys do, I couldn't imagine doing. And there was another one I watched just recently called The Innocent Man. It's a 6-part documentary series about these double murders in like Ada, Oklahoma in the 80s,
Huh.
where they put some innocent people away in jail. John Grisham wrote his first nonfiction book about it and said if you'd have read it, you thought it was a fiction. It
Is it like making a murder kind of thing? Is that
Kind of,
basically
yeah,
it?
because there was like
'cause
3
people
different
love
books
that.
wrote about the same district attorney in the town. Small town Oklahoma where they're pressured to find a verdict, put somebody in jail, and basically put away a couple innocent people. One guy was like 5 days away from getting executed, then got off on DNA as evidence and stuff. So that's good. Ozark.
What's the name one more time?
It's called The Innocent Man.
The Innocent Man.
I
That's
did
Netflix?
DVR
Yeah,
Ben
Netflix.
Stiller, something that he's directing. It is on. Couldn't even tell you what channel it's on either. But it's something about the.
All right.
No, the 2 guys that broke out of prison and they went into the Carolinas. They got in a shootout. One of the guys got killed. They were banging one of the female guards.
Oh, that was just like a couple years ago.
Yeah, something Metamora or something like that. Breakout of Metamora, but that looks supposed to be pretty good too. I haven't.
And that's on streaming?
It's on. It's on Comcast, so it's kind of something.
Like, I don't-
Comcast is streaming. I'm sure I get Comcast streaming on my phone. So
But
that's
so the
streaming.
Comcast stuff typically,
is
Bob,
TV.
is a TV channel that they post.
I don't know if you guys ever watched the Narcos.
No, so I watched the first season
Yeah,
of
I
that,
liked the
and
first
that
two.
you talk about molasses.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh
happened.
my God! Do something already. Now you were going to mention Ozarks as well. I know you were kind of hyped on
I like
Ozarks.
Ozark.
Yeah, Ozark was good.
Yeah.
It's
The new
That's the
season-
Jason Bateman one, correct? Yeah.
Just like typical Ozark, where it's like 2 episodes of just nonstop, just insanity. Then it's like 3-4 really slow episodes.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I just thought of this, and I have to mention it because we mention it every podcast. The Andre the Giant documentary.
Oh yeah, that's a must. Yeah,
I
that's
can't believe one of us hasn't mentioned
because
that.
it was too early in
Yeah, I'm
2018.
sorry.
That's probably that was
that
was
I'm
phenomenal.
sorry.
That was good. I did see that.
Yes,
I did see that one.
Can't get enough of that.
The
I'm
Jake the
sorry.
Snake one, depressing.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know they made one about
It was
Jake.
like 3
It's
years
an
ago.
That
Amazon
one's on
thing.
Amazon.
That's
yeah.
depressing.
So, my favorite streaming is on Amazon, It's the Jack Ryan show with
You
John
bitched
Christensen.
about that the whole
You
time.
seemed lukewarm. Like
Yeah.
you liked it,
It
but
was
you
still
know.
better than anything I've seen on streaming.
Wow, okay.
After
Wow,
I
that's
watched
not saying much about your streaming watching.
And then honorable mention is, again, Daredevil. I don't think... Punisher didn't come out this year. It came out the year before.
Okay.
So Daredevil and Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
So good I couldn't think of the name of it.
It was so good you complained about it like a month
Yeah.
ago.
It was. I mean... I
It's
complained
so
about it, but
slow,
it
and then he
is
does all
slow.
kinds of cool stuff in the last 5 minutes.
It is true, but it's still one of the better shows I've seen on streaming. Because I think most streaming shows suck. I'm trying to think of anything off the top of my head that would beat that out, and I don't really think. I like,
I watch a lot of like documentary style ones.
yeah.
So I mean that's kind
I
of
mean,
my
the Toys
thing.
That Made Us, but that was 2 years ago.
Oh, that was good.
That was entertaining.
Still, that just came back. That's not 2 years ago because the Hello Kitty stuff and all that stuff should have been this year. But,
Yeah, you only watch a handful of episodes. Transformers, GI Joe.
yeah.
So now we're going to go into sports. Now, it doesn't have to be football. It could be basketball, baseball. What is the one game that you enjoyed the most year that sticks
The
out?
one game.
Sure, let's go one.
So the one game that I've been rattling off since the first week of college football was when Texas A&M got screwed by Clemson. Texas A&M should have won that damn game. That fumble out of bounds is bull. And them boys should have won that. And that's what sent me on a whole Jimbo rant the whole 2018. That was bullshit. I want to go on record to say that was my game of the year because freaking Jimbo got robbed.
Oh. Bob?
all the way
What,
back to week one.
what about you, Bob? It could be golf. It could be bowling. It could be baseball, football.
It was a little on the boring side, but I still enjoyed it. It was the Tiger versus Phil. The pay-per-view.
You did you
You
paid-
bought that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it got refunded, so that was even better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
'cause they
they
got
ended up
streamed
putting
out.
it
Yeah,
out for
so
free.
that made it even better. But
Yeah.
that was pretty
How,
entertaining.
and can I pause you for a minute? Can you go a little deeper into that? What was it? How long was the broadcast and stuff like that?
It started at 2. I think they were showing them like on the putting green, them warming up, and they were kind of giving each other a little banner, which I thought was pretty cool. Like Phil came up to Tiger and said, "Oh, you're wearing red. That's original."
Yeah.
And Tiger said, "Oh, you're wearing black, and that's slimming, so that's good." I mean, so I thought it was going to kind of be like that the whole time.
and then
They-
Charles Barkley was one of the announcers.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Charles
So it
Barkley
was colored.
Yeah, it was. I guess the PGA put the clamps in their betting because it got out of control.
Oh wow.
Because it started off, it was $200,000. I think the first hole that Phil would birdie the hole, and he did not. So Phil was down $200,000 right out of the get go, and they kept bidding. There was a
You
$1
think the
million
PGA
bet.
had something to do
They
with
came
it?
out and said they did.
But why would they? It was like a non-sanctioned
Because it's
event.
all
That's
for
what I
charity
thought.
too. It's for charity, so they didn't want to associate really gambling and the PGA kind of thing.
Huh.
Because I think they were expecting. Because I watched the preview up to that show where Phil was warming up, and they were
You
showing.
watched
It's
the
a,
preview to it?
I
Jesus
did because
Christ.
it was.
Yeah,
I
but
like
this is a guy who can't watch anything on television,
But he watches
10
7
hours
hours
of a
of
Dude,
golf.
I
pro.
got my DVR is full. I pick what I want, and that was the most interesting to me at that
Oh,
time.
okay. So you were a big fan of this whole
I
broadcast.
love Tiger. I love Tiger since
rightly
the get-go.
so. He's entertaining, especially someone our age. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
no,
Like,
yeah.
it's
From
amazing.
the get-go, he's been.
Yeah.
So it was just, it was fun to watch, but they put the clamps on it, which I thought that sucked, and they weren't really giving it to each other the banner that I thought they would. It
You
was
thought they would be
disappointing.
jaw jacking the
Oh,
whole
I'm
day?
hoping so. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, they're the two best guys out there to be doing it, and they froze up.
Wow.
So there you go. The golf marathon
That's
is
cool.
Bob's choice. And Wings, what was your favorite sporting event or game this year?
I got to pick just one.
Yes, just one.
Hit the Big Ten Conference.
I'm gonna pick two. First of all, the 62-39 butt whooping over Michigan. Everybody loves that.
I don't remember that.
I gotta go with the national title game, Alabama Georgia.
Wow, hey, you're going all the way
Oh
back to
yeah,
January 9th.
we're going back to January. I mean, the
that
fact
was
the fact that
2018.
Nick Saban had the cojones and it worked out for him to yank a
So-
kid
oh,
who
yeah.
went 24-1 and put in a backup quarterback who led the charge, and Georgia blew that game, by the way. I would have to say those are the two games. But the
Wow.
coolest moment of the year
Man, he
was
just won.
watching Tiger walk up 18 when he was going to win back
That
in
was
like
awesome.
September. And you could just see the gallery
The sea
of
of
people
people, yeah.
that no other golfer on the planet
Yeah.
would have with him other than Tiger. I thought that was pretty cool.
Now, Tiger talked about that moment and that little special that he did. People were trying to grab his glove. They were trying
Dude,
to
they were
grab
like
a
all up
gloves out of
on
his
him, man.
bag
I thought
and
he was going to
everything.
get
It
like
was really
assaulted.
insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean,
But Tiger brings those kind of
that's what
crowds.
I'm saying.
man.
And golf
it's
is
real.
Tiger Woods, so it's like
I haven't
It's
watched-
great to see him
argue that.
doing well.
I haven't watched a PGA event in a while, and I was streaming it at work when Tiger was playing. It's
That's
just
cool.
he's just awesome.
I think it's good. Like I said, it's that generation.
He's the biggest asshole, but he's awesome. He is. He's a douche.
Most dominant players are,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. And Steve, what do you got?
The most exciting game of the year that I've watched, I felt, was Kansas City and the Rams. What was that?
Oh,
That was
yeah,
a
that's a
good,
good
that was
pull.
a good Monday
Last
night
week,
game.
that
Monday
was
night.
very good.
Yeah, and then honorable mention was Notre Dame beating Michigan because Michigan. So there's my two picks. I'm not usually a super into offense,
But it was just so back
it
and
was so
forth.
crazy.
That game
And
was
there
insane, though.
and there was defensive touchdowns. I mean, it was
Yeah,
everything
all
you
over the-
want in that game. It was there. So there you go.
That is an instant classic.
I